Hello. Do you ever pray? I know that I do. If I find myself in difficult circumstances, if I've got something to say thank you for, if I've got something to be joyful about, I pray. It's just something I do. It's as natural to me as breathing is. But the other night, I was laying in bed awake. It was 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm not sleeping very well at the moment, and tossing and turning in the early hours of the morning. And I was laying worrying about all sorts of things that are going on in my life and within my family. And worrying and tossing and turning. And I thought to myself, well, I'll get up, I'll make a cup of tea, go downstairs, read a book for a little while and just have a hot drink, and then maybe I'll be able to come back to bed and go back to sleep. Well, the best laid plans anyway. So I got out of bed. I thought it seemed dark in the bedroom. Normally there's a street light outside, and although the curtains are drawn, the street light still shines through them. It's very bright and very close to the house. So anyway, I got out of bed, fumbled my way around for the light, flicked the light switch on, off, nothing, complete darkness. Round the other side of the bed again to find my phone, looked at my phone, tried to swipe up for the torch to find that I hadn't charged it the night before, I hadn't put it on to charge. So there I was in the complete darkness. I'm not afraid of the dark, but I couldn't see where I was going. And then it occurred to me, of course, I couldn't go downstairs to make a cup of tea because there was no power to plug the kettle in. No power at all. So that was the end of that idea. So I didn't know what I would do. I got back into bed. I felt even more anxious and even less like sleep. And as I lay there, I thought to myself, well, look, I'll send up an arrow prayer. First of all, I sent an arrow prayer for the power to be restored so I can have my cup of tea. And by this time, I needed some paracetamol because I had a headache had come on. I sent up an arrow prayer for him. And the Lord says we can ask for anything. It doesn't matter what it is, however small or however big, we can ask for anything. So I sent up an arrow prayer. I hope the UK power networks are getting to work and out in the rain and dark and mending what's gone wrong, and also giving thanks for them that actually they do go out in the dark and the rain, put these things right for us. But I was laying there as well. I thought, well, if the power doesn't come on, I can't see where I am, I can't make a cup of tea, I can't take my paracetamol, then I will lay here and I will do something that I should have done first of all, which was, of course, to pray, because it's the first thing we should do rather than the last resort. So I started to pray, and as I did that, I thought to myself, well, I can ask for anything. So not just an arrow prayer that the power would come on, not just an arrow prayer that I would be able to go to sleep and have a restful rest of the night, but actually prayers for all the things that were worrying me, that were keeping me awake. Small things all around COVID-19, the fact that I'm not seeing so much of my family because I can't. My husband's been shielding, so we're keeping away from everyone. And what was going to happen at Christmas, and when will we get the vaccine, and all these things were spinning around in my head. And as I thought about them, I started to think, I'll just pray through every single one of those little things that is worrying me. And as I started to do this, a deep, very deep sense of peace started to overcome me. It started at my toes and it travelled upwards through my body like a wave of warmth and just relaxation and safety and security as it travelled up me, and I felt this wave overwhelm me, just as if I was just resting in the sea and it was a gentle warm day and the water was just washing and holding me. I started to pray these prayers for all these things, and as I did it, every single one of them receded into the distance. It faded away into insignificance, and I started to feel very relaxed, very warm, and very held by God. And I thought to myself, that's what God does for us, isn't it? That's what He does. He holds us when we're anxious, and it doesn't matter how trivial or silly those anxieties are or seem to be to others. They're often real to you. They could be big things as well. And actually He holds us during this time, and the way to feel held, I think, is to pray and just to tell Him, like He's our dearest, closest friend, about those things that we need support for, that we need comforting about, that we just need someone to say, I'm with you, I'm standing alongside you, I'm your very special friend. And after a while, well, I didn't realise this really till the morning, because I must have drifted off to sleep. But I woke feeling that actually that was just so lovely. And it was so important to remember in these times of trouble, when you're anxious and all churned up, that actually to pray and pray and pray and pray and pray. I got up and the power was back on, so that arrow prayer worked too. I hope that you'll give prayer a try. Maybe you pray a lot already, but maybe you've never prayed. And if you've never prayed, give it a try and see how different it makes you feel.